I stared at my phone, reading my mother's text for the 10th time. Sophie darling, so sorry but we'll have to skip Emma's birthday this year. Times are tough, you know how it is. Give our little granddaughter a hug. My 8-year-old daughter, Emma, peeked over my shoulder, her excitement fading as she recognized her grandmother's name on the screen. Are grandma and grandpa not coming to my party? They're just busy, sweetie, I lied, quickly putting my phone away. I couldn't tell her the truth, that her grandparents had once again chosen to disappoint her while lavishing attention on her cousins. My name is Sophie Chen, and I've spent years watching my parents play favorites with their grandchildren. My sister Victoria's kids got the lavish gifts, the surprise visits, the proud Facebook posts. Emma got forgotten birthdays and last-minute cancellations. I was putting the finishing touches on Emma's homemade birthday cake. She'd asked for a galaxy theme, and I'd spent hours getting the purple and blue fondant just right, when my laptop pinged with a new email. Monthly statement, Platinum card members. I almost deleted it, thinking it was spam, until I noticed it was addressed to my mother, Barbara Wilson. She must have typed her email wrong again. Our addresses were similar, and she'd never been good with technology. I shouldn't have opened it. I should have just forwarded it to her correct address. But something made me click. My hands started shaking as I scrolled through the statement. There it was, in black and white, $25,000 in charges over the last month alone. Designer clothes from Nordstrom. For my precious grandbabies. According to the gift message. A deposit for a Disney World vacation. iPad Pros for each of Victoria's 3 kids. Mommy? Emma's voice made me jump. Can I help with my cake? I quickly closed the laptop, forcing a smile. Of course, baby. Want to help me add the stars? As we worked on the cake together, my mind raced. All those times my mother had claimed they were watching their spending. When it came to Emma, the Christmas they gave her a coloring book, while her cousins got gaming consoles. The school recital they skipped because gas is so expensive these days. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Mom. BTW, don't mention anything to your sister about us not coming. We're surprising her kids with a trip to Disney next week. But you know how tight money is these days. I felt sick. They weren't even trying to hide it anymore. Mommy, you're squeezing the frosting too hard, Emma said quietly. I looked down to see I'd crushed the piping bag, blue icing oozing between my fingers. Sorry, sweetie, Mommy's just a little distracted. Is it because Grandma and Grandpa don't love me as much as they love Jack, Mason and Lily? The question hit me like a punch to the gut. My 8-year-old daughter shouldn't have to ask that question, shouldn't have to feel less loved than her cousins. Emma, look at me, I said, kneeling to meet her eyes. You are loved, so loved, and anyone who makes you feel otherwise doesn't deserve your love in return. She nodded, but I could see the hurt in her eyes, the same hurt I'd seen too many times before. My laptop pinged again, another misdirected email. This time it was a confirmation for 3 iPad Pro orders, with a note from my mother to the store. Please gift wrap separately for my 3 amazing children. 3. She had 4 grandchildren. I picked up my phone, my hands steady despite my anger. I typed, Mom, I think you sent your credit card statement to my email by mistake. $25,000 on Victoria's kids this month. Guess money isn't as tight as you claimed. Her response was immediate. Sophie, that was private. You had no right to open my mail. Then, it's not what you think. And finally, please don't tell your sister about Disney. It's supposed to be a surprise. I looked at Emma, happily adding silver sprinkles to her birthday cake, trying so hard to be okay with being the forgotten grandchild. Something inside me snapped. Don't worry, Mom, I typed back. I won't tell Victoria about Disney, but I will be showing your credit card statement at Emma's party tomorrow. You know, the one you're too broke to attend. I think our whole family will be very interested in seeing exactly how tight money has been. I turned off my phone, ignoring the flood of incoming messages. Tomorrow would change everything, and for once, my mother wouldn't be controlling the narrative. Emma, I called out, how would you like to help Mommy make some party favors? I have a feeling we're going to need extra copies of something very important. The next morning, my phone had 47 missed calls and over 100 text messages. My mother had gone from defensive to pleading to threatening, all in the span of 8 hours. You're making a huge mistake. Please, let's talk about this privately. If you do this, you'll regret it. Think about what this will do to the family. The last message made me laugh bitterly. The family? The same family that had systematically excluded my daughter for years. I pulled out the folder I'd prepared last night. Inside were copies of the credit card statement, along with a detailed spreadsheet I'd created. 3 years of documented favoritism, gifts, trips, surprise visits, that always seemed to happen when Victoria's kids had events, but never for Emma's. Sophie, my sister Victoria's name flashed on my phone. Of course Mom had called in reinforcements. "What are you doing?" she demanded, when I answered. "Mom's hysterical." "Really? Was she hysterical when she spent $25,000 on your kids while telling mine she couldn't afford a birthday card?" "That's different," Victoria protested. "You know Mom and Dad are helping with the kids' college funds." "And what about Emma's college fund?" I interrupted. "Or does she not deserve one, because she's not one of the 3 amazing grandchildren?" Victoria fell silent. We both knew she'd seen those social media posts, those emails, those public declarations of favoritism. "Look," she finally said, her voice softer. "I know Mom can be excessive with the kids, but exposing her like this, it'll destroy her reputation in the family." Her reputation. I felt that familiar anger rising. What about Emma's sense of self-worth? "Do you know she asked me yesterday if her grandparents don't love her as much as they love your kids?" More silence. "You're bringing the kids to the party, right?" I asked. "Sophie, right? Mom asked us not to come. She said it would be too awkward." "Perfect." I cut her off. "That makes this even easier." I hung up and went to check on Emma. She was already in her party dress, practicing her thank you smile in the mirror. The sight broke my heart. My daughter had learned to be grateful for scraps of attention while her cousins feasted on abundance. The party started at 2 p.m. By 1:30, my mother was parked outside our house. "Sophie," she called out as I brought decorations to the backyard. "We need to talk." I turned to face her. She looked immaculate as always, not a hair out of place, designer handbag on her arm. The same bag I'd seen on the credit card statement. $3,000 for her, nothing for her granddaughter. "Now you want to talk?" I asked calmly. "After 3 years of excuses, I can explain everything," she said, reaching for her bag. "Look, I brought Emma a gift." I held up my hand. "Let me guess. You rushed out this morning and bought something to cover yourself. Probably spent more than you needed to, hoping to buy my silence." The guilty flash in her eyes confirmed it. "The party starts in 30 minutes. I continued. "You're welcome to stay. Every guest will receive a lovely party favor. A detailed record of your spending on grandchildren over the past 3 years, color-coded for clarity." "You wouldn't dare," she whispered. "Watch me. I'll cut you off completely," she threatened. "No more family events. No more what?" I laughed. "No more forgotten birthdays. No more last-minute cancellations. No more watching my daughter pretend she doesn't notice being the only grandchild not getting presents at Christmas." Cars started pulling into our street, party guests arriving early. "Last chance, Mom," I said quietly. "You can stay, apologize to Emma, and commit to changing. Or you can leave, and everyone will know exactly why." She stared at me for a long moment. Then without a word, she turned and walked back to her car. I watched her drive away, feeling oddly calm. The folders with the credit card statements sat ready by the door, each one a bullet in the gun. I was prepared to fire. "Mommy?" Emma called from inside. "Is Grandma coming to my party?" I took a deep breath. "No, sweetie, but you know what? That's okay. Because today is about celebrating you with people who truly love you." As guests started arriving, I saw Emma's face light up at each genuine smile, each heartfelt hug, each person who chose to be there for her. And I knew I'd made the right choice. The folders stayed by the door. I didn't need them anymore. My mother's empty parking space said everything that needed to be said. Let them have their Disney trips and designer clothes. My daughter deserved something better. The truth, and a mother who would fight for her. The party was about to begin, and for once there would be no pretending. 6 months after Emma's birthday party, I sat in my home office, staring at an unexpected email. The subject line read, "I'm sorry, please read." The last half year had been transformative. After my mother's dramatic exit from Emma's birthday, the family had split into clear factions. Victoria stopped speaking to me entirely. My father sent occasional texts, always brief, always careful. But Emma, she blossomed. without the constant reminder of her secondary status in her grandparents' eyes. My daughter started standing taller, smiling more, pursuing her interests without wondering if they were good enough for Grandma's approval. I opened the email. Dear Sophie, I found Emma's report card in my misdirected mail today. Straight as, science fair winner. Teacher's commendation. I realized I don't even know what subject she loves most. While I can recite all of Victoria's kids' activities by heart, I've been seeing a therapist. She helped me understand something. I wasn't just hurting Emma. I was recreating my own mother's pattern of favoritism, the same pain I swore I'd never pass down. I don't expect forgiveness, but I would like to meet. Just us. Mom, I showed the email to Emma's therapist during our monthly check-in. Yes, I'd gotten my daughter professional help after the birthday incident. Someone needed to help her process years of subtle rejection. What do you think? I asked Dr. Martinez. What does Emma think? She replied. True to form, Emma, now 9, had developed a wisdom beyond her years. When I carefully broached the subject of meeting Grandma, she said something that stopped me in my tracks. Is she ready to love me for real this time, Mommy? Not just because she feels bad. That evening, I agreed to meet my mother at a neutral location, a coffee shop downtown. She was already there when I arrived, looking smaller somehow, less perfectly put together than I remembered. I brought something, she said before I could speak, pushing a stack of papers across the table. My credit card statements from the past 5 years, all of them. I thought, you should see what kind of person I really was. I glanced at the papers. The numbers were staggering. Tens of thousands spent on Victoria's children, designer clothes, extravagant parties, top-of-the-line everything, and Emma's column, a few token gifts, always under $50. Why? I asked simply. She took a shaky breath. Victoria reminded me of myself. Ambitious, social, always reaching for more. And her kids, they were like little mirrors of the life I wanted. Emma was different, quieter, more like me, I finished. Yes, she whispered, and I did to her exactly what my mother did to me. Pushed away the child who didn't fit my image of perfection. I just never realized, never admitted, that you were perpetuating generational trauma. She flinched at the clinical term. My therapist uses that phrase too. We sat in silence for a moment, the weight of years of hurt between us. I saw Emma's science project online, she said finally. The one about stars and dark matter. She did that all on her own. Yes, no expensive tutors, no bought advantages, just passion and hard work. She's extraordinary, my mother said softly, and I missed it. All of it. I pulled out my phone, showing her a photo of Emma's latest project, a homemade telescope she'd built from scratch. She's teaching herself astronomy now, I said. Did you know she can name every major constellation? She learned them all in 2 weeks. My mother's eyes filled with tears. I'd like to hear her talk about them sometime. If you both would allow it. I thought about Emma's question. Is she ready to love me for real this time? We can start small, I said. Maybe a video call. Let her share her knowledge on her terms. But Mom, if you ever make her feel less than precious again, I won't, she interrupted. I'm in therapy twice a week. I'm learning to see my patterns, to break them. I've even started talking to Victoria about scaling back the extravagance with her kids. It wasn't healthy for anyone. As if on cue, my phone buzzed with a text from Emma. Mom, I found a new star pattern. Can I show you when you get home? I showed the message to my mother. Her hands trembled as she read it. That enthusiasm, that pure joy in discovery, that's who Emma is. Not the quiet kid who didn't fit your mold, but a brilliant mind who never needed designer labels to shine. I'd like to know her, my mother said, the real her. Not the granddaughter I thought I wanted, but the amazing person she actually is. I stood up, gathering my things. I'll talk to Emma. The choice will be hers. And Mom, if she gives you another chance. I know, she nodded. I won't waste it. Walking home, I looked up at the darkening sky, thinking about Emma's beloved stars. Some bonds, like some stars, need to die before something new can be born from their remnants. Maybe, just maybe, we were ready for that rebirth. Hey stargazer, I texted Emma. Ready to teach your mom more about the cosmos? Her reply was instant. Always. And Mom, I thought about Grandma. Maybe she can learn about stars too. Everyone deserves a chance to see the light, out of the mouths of babes, as they say. My brilliant, forgiving, starlight child was ready to shine her light, even on those who had kept her in shadow. It was time for a new constellation in our family's sky.